And does that mean that we...
What's up, guys? T minus like 30 seconds. Come join us.
Just a minute.
We're doing our third Airbnb webinar. Here's our full setup: Instagram Live, all the lights, camera, and us. So you guys log on. It's on Instagram right now. Register. We're doing Instagram Live and we're doing a Zoom. You can go on to both. We'll see you guys very shortly. Airbnb, got some big points today. See you soon.
Okay. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. We are just getting started. We're getting set up in typical Carrie White fashion, always a couple minutes late. Okay, so we're just getting people on. We're excited to have everybody today.
What's up?
Should that screen be different there?
Yes.
We've got Drake joining us today. Okay, I'm gonna go live over here. Quick question, live. How do I get your head in it? Live, checking connection. Okay, we're excited to have everyone here. Is that good?
What's up? Just doing some my social media last second stuff. I'm trying to get to everybody.
I'm trying to find a filter that makes me look prettier.
In my opinion, that's just a standard filter.
Oh, Eric, where is my goddamn pretty filter? We are excited to have everybody here today. We're going to be talking about short-term rentals, which we have been talking about a couple times already. And everyone who has joined us in the last couple of webinars has been able to find out about our business of short-term rentals.
Yeah. Wow. That's a great filter.
Sorry about that.
Oh, no. Do the other. Yeah. We're all on drugs.
Oh my God. What is going on?
Oh my gosh. Look at us.
We go with the sunflowers?
Called? Oh my gosh, that, you know, the weird stuff in the guy's face. That was great.
We're just telling people we're live. It says we're still telling people we're live.
Never meant to let you down. Oh, look at this.
Oops.
We went from backgrounds to emails.
I didn't mean to do that. Okay, I guess we're gonna.
Oh, that was very. I look very. Oh, I look pretty.
Yeah, this is a good one. This is a beach one.
Soft.
Okay.
Good coloring.
Okay, so you can see us. We're live. Everyone's like, get the show on the road.
Hi, everyone.
Okay,
My name's Eric.
I don't really fit in here.
What are you guys doing later?
Okay. All right. So welcome everybody today to our short-term rental webinar number 3. We're IG Live. We're on Zoom. Everybody who registered, thank you. We're also bringing people in on IG Live too, just to get more of our information out there. We're super excited to have everybody today. Say what's up, say hello. If you are watching right now and you own a current short-term rental, please drop either your Instagram link or where it's located. Give us the information, tell us where you're from. We'd love to connect with everybody on their rentals across the country, state, world, which is great. Today, our topic is maximizing profits from your short-term rentals. And the reason I am doing this is because my 2022 business plan was to help my clients build wealth in real estate. So I wanted to work, being in the business 17 years, I wanted to work with my clients to help them see how they could take their equity or savings and buy apartment buildings, flips, short-term rentals. So I have been doing webinars and series based on building wealth in real estate. Very blessed at the upbringing from my family who taught me along this path. I have a today. Does anybody know who this guy is?
What's up?
Raise your hand if you know who this is.
Probably no one.
This is my husband, Eric. He owns a brokerage in Claremont, a very fun, wonderful brokerage. And we went into business on short-term rentals 2.5 years ago together, which has been quite a ride, I would say. We learned a lot of things the hard way, and that's why we're doing these, to give people the ins and outs. So thank you everyone for being here today, but also especially thank you to you, because I know you're very busy and everybody at your office needs you to be there.
This is great. I'm glad we can share some knowledge to people, because this is what you and I do as a side hustle. And it's nice that we can share some of our successes with other people that are in the same boat as us that are trying to find smart ways to utilize their money.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so just to be clear, today we're going to go over maximizing how to rank high on top of the pages for Airbnb, maximizing profits, expenses, like a little formula for that, and then seasonality and pricing. So let's start with, how in the heck do you know how to price your property? And do you price it the same number every day, every week, every month? So Eric, you've taken the lead on working with AirDNA, one of the tools we mentioned in one of our first videos. Tell us a little bit about pricing. How do we make sure we're pricing it right?
Well, I will tell you, I'll start off with, if you were to price your property at the same price every single day, you're ultimately going to lose money, and it's probably not the best investment for you. And if you think about it, as everyone here has probably traveled somewhere, depending on the time of year that you're traveling, the rates are always going to be different. So understanding seasonality of where your Airbnb is located, the type of events that are happening within the city, different times of the year, really will help maximize more profits for your bottom line. And how you do that is, in all reality, a lot of research, and you have to actually take active approaches to figure out what's going on in the city, going to the City of Commerce, pulling a flyer of all their events that they're doing. Also understanding just seasonality based on weather. We have Airbnbs in the desert. So for our seasonality, the winters here are going to be the high season for us. So we're ultimately going to raise the prices during those times of year, or during that time of year, so we can ultimately maximize and stay with the competition of everybody else around the community. Because you guys also know, if you guys are going to go to a really cool place that you're going to vacation to, and you see all these wonderful homes, but you see a home that's $200 or $300 less than the competition, you're going to have red flags like, oh, what's wrong with that home? Why is that home so cheap? It's this weird thing that we do. Even though it's a good deal, most people are questioning it. So really understanding through AirDNA and looking at the analytics to try to figure out the best price that you should do that. We use Airbnb as also, like I said, we also go to the city and we know exactly what type of events are happening. We have tennis matches, we have Coachella, we have golf, we have there's
horse riding.
There's a huge horse event that they do, polo.
Art festival. So you really have to understand all this and then price accordingly. And also we use another software program called Price Labs, and that also uses their own algorithms to understand pricing when it comes to, for example, you might have a month that you're pricing your home around $300 a night, but one weekend you might want to raise that to like $700 because there's a tennis match that weekend. So really understanding that's going to help you, because if you're really low on that price and on that price point, you might not get rented, not because it was so low, it's just because, again, you're raising red flags to people who are looking for a nice home. Is this sound okay? I just got a note that everybody can hear okay, right? If you can't hear, probably would have said something, right? Okay.
Well, if you can't hear, don't worry, I didn't say anything that important.
No. Everyone on Zoom can hear and see us okay, right? Cool. Oh, I'm not in the chat. Oh gosh, 10, yay. Okay, so everybody's all good in here? Okay. If you can't hear us, let us know. We're all good.
Okay.
Char says they can hear us. Dave, it might be your Zoom. Okay, right. So that was very good information, that you have to look at seasonality for pricing. And also it can be very confusing when you look at other Airbnbs to see what they're charging, because you think, okay, if we don't have bookings, then we should lower the price. But if you lower it too much, then it raises red flags. And there's a very key takeaway that I learned from one of my good friends. You usually do not book more than 30 days out on your short-term rental. Now, for planners or for people with high anxiety, that can be really daunting, right? Yeah. To look at your calendar and see no income, usually 60 or so days out. We actually don't even open up our calendar more than 6 months out. We were doing 3 to 6 months.
You were doing 90.
Having people book so far in advance, they could cancel, and that's a pain in the butt. But also getting the understanding that people will book within the last 30 days is very strange. And if your property is fully booked for the next month or two, it usually means that you're charging too much money. you're charging too little money. So you're leaving money on the table. So you actually want to be one of the higher ones. And when you use these algorithms, these pricing softwares, they're built into Airbnb and VRBO. We like AirDNA. We just are familiar with that.
And Price Labs.
Price Labs. They actually will work the numbers for you. They will, you can set up, I would highly recommend this. We did this, set up your, what do you call them, preferences. So you can give weekly discounts. You can give discounts for last minute bookings. You can allow orphan days. You can set minimum, maximum, and you can do this all throughout the month, the season. So there's, again, one of the ways to make money is to outsource this. Or
in our reality, one of the things I was going to bring up as we were discussing this was don't try to do everything yourself. Having outsource very important things are going to also help maximize your income, because there are a lot of things that we don't know. I'm not a coder. She's not a coder. So learning the analytics on the back end to understand how to price accordingly on these websites, you definitely want some help. And we really, really lean on AirDNA and Price Labs for that. So write those two companies down. If you're interested in doing this, this is something that I would highly recommend for you guys to utilize.
Yeah, they're great. Okay, so pricing is a big one. The next one we're going to go into is the $2,000 a month formula and making sure that you are making money. When you're setting up your Airbnb, there's a certain amount of money you put aside, your down payment, and then your setup costs, which is everything from furniture, like linens, utensils, supplies, toys, games, and then your cost of running the house monthly. Now, the more you spend up front, the less profit you're going to have. So our rule is we really wouldn't want to buy anything that was at least $2,000 a month in profit. So of course you can't look at if you're going to spend $100K on furniture, it's going to take you a very long time to even make a profit. So look at a budget each room accordingly. And one of the most important things is get furniture and items in the house that are not overpriced designer items. You can find amazing pieces on Wayfair, the West Elm outlet, Overstock, Amazon. It takes a little bit more creativity and a little bit more time during this setup, but every room that I would do, I would find whatever it was, whether it was a pink headboard or a blue velvet couch, and then I would go in and type in cheap pink headboard, cheap velvet light, and then search by the lowest price, but check for reviews and for ratings for quality, because you don't want to have people on a couch. We learned the hard way, a cheap couch, and it broke. So then the couch was on the floor for 6 months and we invested in a nicer couch. So you want to have the good quality, but don't be putting Jonathan Adler things in your home or restoration hardware, because one, they're going to get a little dinged up, and two, it's going to cut into your profits and you won't be able to make enough money fast. So in speaking to the design of the house and how you can optimize and maximize your profits, I think you'll start to realize, if you're in the business or if you stay at Airbnbs often, there's a lot of cute places out there, right? Like there used to just be kind of crappy, but now you can see different colored doors, different fun furniture, neon signs. People are starting to have a lot more fun with it. So how do you stand out when somebody else also has an updated kitchen with high ceilings and beautiful decor, right? So that's where it goes into telling a story. What is it like to stay at your home? What's the experience when people get there? Give it a little bit of name. So that's a good question, Sue. We'll come back to that. Thank you, because that talks about profits. So we called our first home La Casa Rosa, which is the pink house. There's an area in Palm Springs that has colored doors. If you've driven through them, they're really, really cute. So I copied this one pink door, which I have a photo outside that pink door. I should post that. And one of my great clients just bought a house called La Villa Fonda. So you want to give them an experience of what it's like to be there. Our house caters to a lot of, bachelorette parties, girls' weekends, families, things like that. And those are the people that are not going to mess up your house. Our PGA house, we made it a Miami theme, and of course the golf course. So you want to give people a reason to come. And then we're going to move into maximizing the profits.
Can I just dig into that really quickly? You're just kind of flying through.
Oh, okay. You seemed bored.
Kind of. I will be honest with you guys. This part that she is talking about, you got to be a little resourceful. If you really want to maximize your profits, you really have to be creative on the furniture, because the furniture is one of the first things that you're investing in on already a high investment. So you want to make sure that you do find reasonable furniture. And Carrie and I have spent weekends and nights going through Amazon, going through different websites, going to cheap furniture stores. Bob's Furniture Store is the one that we joke around a lot all the time.
Didn't even know what Bob's was.
But I can't stress enough that the furniture, picking the right furniture is going to be probably one of the most highest value things that you can do on purchasing an Airbnb. It could sink you or it can make you float if you do it correctly. That's just one thing I want to talk about, because a lot of people, they're just going to go online and pick what they like. I would try to urge you not to do that and really find really good price points. Yeah, that's what I want to touch on.
Thank you for repeating what I just said.
I just really wanted to emphasize how much it's harder than it seems, but it's one of those things that has a huge payoff.
Yeah. Another way to maximize profits is to outsource. When you're running a business, especially when you're running your own business, like we run our own businesses, you do things a certain way. And when you join a partnership with somebody, you have to agree on things. So sometimes we want to spend money on different things at the house, et cetera. So thank you for that elaboration. We did have a quick question. Please put your questions in. We'll try to answer them as they come up or in between topics. Somebody had asked, Sue had asked, how do you compensate guests when they arrive and the property is not clean?
You probably have two different answers for that.
Okay, go for it.
Two things. One is, it's really easy to try to give in to people's requests and demands at Airbnbs. A lot of people that we've come to realize over the last couple of years of doing this, they will ask for anything and everything under the sun. And there are some people that don't ask for anything. We've come to find out, as much as you want to compensate and give and give and give to make them feel better and also yourself, sometimes that's not always the right answer. Sometimes you need to stay firm on your pricing. Just like if you were to go to a hotel and let's say it was dirty or something like that, sometimes they just say, hey, we're going to come up and clean it and we'll fix it. And that's it. When it's really seriously bad and you really pushed, sometimes they'll give you free parking or valet parking, whatever it may be. They won't charge you for that. I forgot what's the terminology when you park your car for the day at a hotel?
Valet?
No, there's a name for it. So they will give small compensation. We tend to not really give compensation on a dirty home if we can have somebody come and clean it in a very minimal time frame. If something is major or it takes a couple days or it's going to affect the remainder of their stay, then at that point, we will try to figure out maybe a small discount, or sometimes even we just deliver a bottle of champagne from a local butler. But we try to get creative. We try to save as much as we can, because at the end of the day, this is a business.
Yeah, luckily it hasn't happened very often.
No, it hasn't, but it happens.
We haven't had anybody arrive and complain about the cleanliness, but the maids have run late a couple times, and it goes to, making sure that you have the right people, that you have backup. So you need to have feet on the ground wherever they are, whether it's someone like backup cleaners, you need at least 2 or 3.
Handymen, air conditioners.
Yeah. Just a runner, like a butler type person that can go when a delivery comes or something like that. And at least someone to show up and talk the client or the guest, not a client. We have clients in real estate, talk the guest through the experience. But, it's kind of like shit happens. Can I say that? Like, how many times have you traveled, checked into a hotel and something's been wrong, the wrong room, it's not clean? I mean, remember Vegas last year? I mean, things happen that are out of your control.
Our room flooded last year in Vegas, but yes.
Wait, we got like a $25. Things happen in life, and they're also, you have to keep in mind, they're out of the owner's control. Like, you can't help if you show up and something's broken, just the way it happens at any other normal house. And it's different from a hotel because you shift them into another room, but at a house, you can't really shift them into another house. And there is some high stress with that, some very, very high stress. So, big rewards don't come with big risks and a little bit of stress. Okay, so the third point that we wanted to discuss in optimizing and maximizing your Airbnb profits is how to rank high on the search. So when you go to search for Airbnb in Toronto, Canada, how do you become the top person on the rank? You look like you want to answer it.
No, and I have a question for you all, because I'm sure everyone here has at one point rented an Airbnb. How often are you guys actually going to the second page of Airbnb to find an Airbnb?
I'm very
honest
curious.
question. Because usually when I rent an Airbnb, I'm finding something off like the first 5 listings that I see. That's me personally. I don't go to the second page. Even on Google, when I search something, I don't go to the second page.
I at least go to like the 4th or 5th. I'm sure my mom goes to like the 20th. Do you, Kathy? How many pages would you look at, Kathy, on Airbnb? I want to see your answer. Hi, Mom. That is true, though. If you are a high D, even though I'm a high D, you're busy, you're going to probably click on one of the first few. And then Airbnb does this little thing where it says Carrie's place is a rare find.
Rare gem.
Rare find with a little gem symbol. So that's definitely something you want. But these are some of our tips on making sure that you rank at the top. One, being consistently book, which goes back into point number 1 about knowing how to price and knowing how to understand the pricing market. 2 is good customer service. So not only does Airbnb rank you on how fast you respond, but clients will also be easier on you if there's a problem and you respond right away.
You need to respond in the first 5 to 10 minutes, in our opinion.
Yeah, and these are not 9 to 5 stuff. A lot of this is after 4 on a weekend, on a night,
11:30 p.m.
Yeah, I remember one time our Airbnb on Herald. Yeah, Kathy goes through a lot of pages. The people couldn't get into the unit and they were in Europe, so I had no way to access. That was very stressful, few hours. So things are going to happen out of your control that you don't expect. Okay, so good customer service, having someone available. If you yourself are not available 24/7, you may want to have someone else helping you with that, whether it's a property management company or a virtual assistant. And also getting good reviews. So we set up auto templates that go out to all of our guests that ask for a review right when they check out. And then it also will prompt them to write a review 3 days later if they haven't. And then on top of that, we respond to the reviews and tell them that they're awesome. So having good reviews, good customer service, responding to reviews, and then of course, presentation. How many Airbnbs do you look at that don't have professional photos?
Probably a lot.
There's a lot of them, and it's worth the investment. Airbnb actually has a photographer who will come out and take photos for you. But it's $250, $350, whatever it is, it makes a difference having those professional photos. What else would you say about optimizing the actual rental itself?
We kind of touched on it a little bit a couple of minutes ago, but really making the property look nice, really having, so every single room in all of our homes has a theme. So it's like one home, we have a blue room, we have a green room, and I think we have an orange room. I don't even know what the colors are anymore, but the rooms are themed. So you walk in and one, you just feel like there's like some zebras on the wall. It's blue. It kind of gives you a very interesting vibe. And then you walk into our orange room. It's more funky and spunky.
The funk room.
And it's called the funk room. And there's like a shag rug on the wall. Like we made it really unique. In our master bedroom, we put some really unique Miami themed wallpaper on the back. So when you look at these pictures, you have an emotional attachment to the home, which makes you again want to rent a home that you feel attached to.
Yeah, and it's fun when we have friends stay there, seeing who picks which room.
Oh, it's a blast seeing our friends and our parents.
Yeah, it's like, well, I'm going to stay in this room this time, and everybody wants to experience it. So it's not just going on a vacation and staying somewhere that has a nice bed and nice furniture and a nice location. It's also a story, an experience, something exciting, something to put on Instagram. It's huge in getting your property to be optimized.
Side note, it's really fun when they actually come multiple times and you see them arriving much earlier than other people just so they can get the room they want.
My goal with the second house, I don't think there's a better second room because one room has a private bathroom attached to it, but the second room, even though it has a full bathroom, you could use it if you're in the rest of the house, but it's a bigger room
it's got a couch.
With a couch.
Yeah.
So I think if you can get rooms that have trade-offs, that's always good.
And by the way, this is all to stay on that front page of Airbnb. These are the small tricks and tips that you need if you want to be on that front page. Because if you think about it, there's hundreds and thousands of listings. And how do you get in that first 10? It's these things that most people are not doing.
Yes. And just so you know, due to the economy, due to people traveling outside of Los Angeles and California now. Oh, thank you, Shar. It's a 5-star. Thank you. 5-star review. The supply shot up as more and more people started buying second homes and vacation homes. and the demand went down. So there was a lot of articles coming out about what's going on with short-term rentals, how to deal with low demand, what to do to still, get the kind of income that you had. When the last 2 Augusts at La Casa Rosa have been the most profitable months of all, which if you've been to the desert in August, why would anybody be going to the desert in August? Because most people are usually in Europe in August, but they haven't been the last couple of years. So we have a little bit of a slower July, August, but we were able to adjust our prices, adjust our marketing, and still capitalize on having, profit there. So you have to be able to shift,
pivot,
just like you do, in any market. If you're just joining us, we're talking about maximizing profit on short-term rentals. And the first two, if you haven't seen them, we talked about finding them, how to pick them. And then we talked about, on the second one, setup and the tools you need and what to look for. And today we've gone through maximizing profits. And one of the other things,
really quickly, sorry to interrupt.
It's okay, I was just giving a recap.
For all the new people and the old people, by the way, speaking of our seasonality, it's warm down the desert, but it's still really beautiful and you play golf really early. So if anyone is actually watching this webinar, DM us if you're interested in actually renting our Airbnb and kind of understanding how we put our Airbnb, how we make it, decorate it. We take you guys down there and you guys can see it. So if you guys are interested in renting our Airbnb, we're doing a summer special. I think it's $175 a night.
Yes.
There you guys go. This is your opportunity to go see a really good Airbnb, or a few that we have down there that you guys can rent. So I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, that's another thing too, putting it out to your community and not just relying on Airbnb, VRBO, letting your friends know, putting on Instagram. You could even do Google ads and things like that. We haven't done the Google ads. We haven't needed to, but there's a lot of things you can do. One of the last things I want, you have a couple more if you stop looking at shoes.
That's not true.
In addition to making the house stand out and telling a story, I don't know if this is just what it's like in Australia, but I want somebody to be able to go to my house and not have to do anything. And that, not like we have toothpaste, but we have chargers by the beds. We have extra pillows, extra blankets on the couch. We try to keep the fridge stocked with ketchup, salt, pepper, like all the things, like the little things that you don't want to go buy, olive oil, hot sauce. We have a little list, mustard that we give. Yeah. And so when people stay there, a lot of times their review is, we didn't need anything. The house was perfect. It felt like a home. So go the extra mile. And another thing is labels. So get a new label maker. I have a separate label maker down there, and let people know, like,
everything should be labeled. These
lights operate this is the market light. Because when people are at a new house, I mean, when we're there, it's always Carrie, where's this? Carrie, where's that? Carrie, where's this? And I was like, I don't know anymore where anything is. But if you have things labeled, people know, okay, here's the blankets for this room, or here's the light switch that does this one. Here's the light switch that does the fan. Here's how to turn on the pool equipment. So, don't worry about disclosing. Don't be exposing anybody at your Airbnb. Disclosing information about the house to make it easier, like how to use things, where the hair dryers are, because people don't want to be hunting around. So just making it an experience where they feel great. They pull in, they can relax, the Wi-Fi is working.
So much so that when you travel to Airbnbs, you're disappointed.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Because every time we travel now,
one towel.
We are not impressed with any Airbnbs we go into.
No.
It really does make a difference. It creates amazing reviews. It creates amazing clientele.
Yeah.
Most of our reviews, the people state somewhere within the review, we can't wait to come back.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to coming back. Next year, we are coming back.
True.
And that's how you create long-standing clients. And also, just so you guys know, we always offer a small discount to returning guests who are amazing guests.
Yeah.
And that also, you want returning people to come to your house because they know what they're going to get and they've already respected your home.
Yeah. Are there any questions we can answer? I saw a few come through. Danny wanted to know, it's not Sue, it's Danny, and that you look great. Thanks, Danny.
Oh, Danny's watching. Love him.
Does anybody have any other questions about what we've gone through? There's so much more involved with these, and there's a lot of information out there. We're always available to help. Buying properties, building wealth is always a good idea, but doing fun things like short-term rentals, long-term rentals, flips, So we've done a flip webinar with my dear friend Jeff Thibodeau, which you can find on my page. And we are going to do a webinar coming up soon. I need to talk to my dad about it. But with Dave White to talk about how to buy an apartment building. And I'm going to have a structured format and ask him some questions to help people who may have
that one, but
no, you did a 3-part series. You're only supposed to be on once, but you want to come on 3 times. You could do 10-part series on this. There's so many fun. I love giving help and information about this. Like if somebody wanted a checklist of must-haves, like that would be fun. Yeah. But we've learned a lot.
DM us, message us if you guys do have any questions. If you guys want any of our checklist, if you guys need any of our resources, we're more than happy to share everything with you. I'm going to be honest with you. Everything that we have done has been self-taught. We've had some friends who have helped us along the way. Always ask for help. Reach out to people if you do have questions, because it's really hard to do it yourself.
Yes,
and then also, when you're doing these Airbnbs, I'm going to leave a last tip. Try to live under your means. Know your home. We live in the desert. We need to have our air conditioning service twice a year. You know, we need to have a pool guy once, twice a week during the summers. And you need to have a little bit of a cushion of finances. So when these things happen, you know how to really be ahead of the game. Because what's the worst thing is if something happens and you guys don't have money in your bank to do it over the weekend, that you need to have someone come ASAP to fix. And then with that, we mentioned it earlier, I can't stress this enough, having people in the area that are going to help you when you're not around. We literally have 2 or 3 of each person. We have 2 or 3 handymen, 2 or 3 pool people, 2 or 3 air conditioning service guys, just because something's always going to happen and someone will not always be able to show up.
The last thing I would say too is don't spend your money from
or don't just appear off the screen.
Sorry, it's because I got Drake. Don't spend your money. Just put it in the account. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. Use it for another house. So don't use it as like your income. Just make your rental property just a pure profit center, because then you can reinvest it, or you can use it on a rainy day.
It's true.
So that's the end of our webinar. And this is my dog.
Your dog?
Our dog. I keep disappearing from the screen. Okay. All right, guys. Questions if you have.
Message us. Anything you guys need.
Appreciate y'all joining.
Thanks for coming. Thanks for joining. Appreciate you guys.
Bye. Peace out.
Bye.